I'm so fortunate today to be interviewing a gorgeous dancer, Sharyne. Welcome to the program.
Hi Camilla, it's lovely to see you again.
Oh, it's always good to chat to you. I just love what you do. Now, you have run the Dance Like a Diva, which is a fantastic name, by the way, studio. Tell us a bit about that.
Okay, and my whole history is dance. I've been a professional dancer and a dance teacher in more contemporary and ballet. I've moved more into burlesque and showgirl and predominantly working with older women. I have a lot of women come to me that have been dancers and some men too, who are inside them still have this passion and dream to dance, and they're told that they're not allowed to anymore because they're too old. And I have so many people hold this dream of dancing, but because they weren't good at it or they didn't get the opportunity when they were younger, they don't get it. They don't do it. They just push that dream down. And so I'm all about creating dance classes where you can come in and really explore that. And it's very liberating. For a lot of women, I have a whole gamut of emotions. Women, it's very confronting, and women can get very emotional and very sad and cry, and then they can be very happy. It's a real emotional journey, because generally we're told we're not beautiful, we're not sexy. When we look in the mirror, we see our worst enemy, and very few women can look in the mirror and go, I feel really good about who I am. So my classes are all about getting women to the point where they can look in the mirror and go, I like who you are. So
that's amazing, Sharyne, that you can do that. That's great, because it's so true, isn't it? And just because you were a dancer doesn't mean you can just switch it off.
No, it doesn't get switched off. And I had a beautiful experience. I've had two that I want to mention. I had a lady who was 90 years old come to my class in the eastern suburbs, and I looked at the way she moved and I thought, oh, I bet she was a dancer. And I said, have you danced? And she said, no, I haven't danced. And I thought, And then we started dancing, and I was flipping through some music and inadvertently put some Mozart on, and it was not that style of class, and I watched her body just change, and she came into the most beautiful first position, and she was looking away, and then I realised she had tears in her eyes, and afterwards I said to her, talk to me about what was happening for you. And she said, all of a sudden I was a young woman, and she'd actually danced in top ballet schools in Russia. She'd been a beautiful prima ballerina, and I thought, and we had this amazing dialogue about how that ballerina isn't dead. She just doesn't have a voice. And so she started coming to the classes, and she can't anymore, but it was still there in her body, in her muscle memory was still all this beauty. And I really struggle with the fact that society can't see that beauty, that dancers are gone in their 20s. I mean, I know Sydney Dance has some dancers in their 30s, but that's old for a dancer. And I'm thinking there needs to be more vehicles for older people to showcase their skills. And likewise, I had a woman who, again, had been a prima ballerina, and she was in her 70s. And one day in class, she just stood there and I thought, what is she going to do? And she did the most beautiful triple pirouette. She said, I don't think I've done one of those in 40 years. And she did it, and she said, I can't believe that's still in me. I can still do that.
Oh,
and it was just wonderful. And she burst into tears too, happiness, and we're all teary and emotional.
You're going to make me cry.
But it was sort of, I love that. When you train as a dancer, you train from a very young age.
When did you start?
4, and it just becomes your life. And if you're good, I got a scholarship at 11, and so I was dancing pretty much 6 days a week. It was my entire life. So you give and give and give to this life for this goal, and suddenly in your 20s, you're told that goal can't exist anymore.
That's crazy.
If you're lucky, you might get into your 30s. Well, I'm in my 50s and I'm still performing, and I try to keep finding vehicles and avenues for other people to join me in that performance journey, which is a wonderful thing. It's nerve-wracking, and then you do it, and the elation you feel when you've conquered that fear and you have actually got the accolade of an audience is just an amazing feeling.
What amazing. I want to
you need to go and do it. So last night we did a performance with a new group of women. One of my professional dancers danced with us, but the group of ladies, a couple of them have performed with belly dancing, but none of them had performed in this genre, and they're all new, and they did the most amazing job. But what I loved is younger dancers had gone on before them, and yet the audience went wild for my group. They just went off. It was fantastic. And I'm like, see? And these women, go up to their late 60s. And I thought, yep, we can do it. we can do it.
We can do it. Oh no, that's
and that's what
fantastic.
I use, the American symbol for World War symbol of Rosie. We can do it.
Yeah, we can do
That's
it.
my symbol.
Oh,
We're
fantastic.
women. We can do it.
And also another icon that you are have a passion for is Marilyn Monroe.
Absolutely.
And she could do it.
Yes.
Tell us about the Marilyn Monroe Festival.
I've had a passion and a love for Marilyn Monroe for a number of reasons, and not the sort of, I'm not a huge fan of the movies, I'm certainly not a huge fan of the songs, but I love that her image has endured for decades. And in fact, I teach a lot of young refugee women. I do the self-esteem building dance classes, and in one particular class I had a big group of African girls, and they had seen the thing you did on Marilyn Monroe on TV.
Wow.
And they said to me, Miss, we saw you on TV and you said Marilyn's for everyone. And I said, yes. And they said, well, you've never done Marilyn in class with us. And I went, oh, would you like to? And they were like, yes. And one of the girls said, I'm not doing that white trash stuff. And another of the girls turned around and said, excuse me, did you know Marilyn stood up against racism? Did you know Marilyn stood up for pay equality for women? Did you? And she was right on it and so political. And I'm looking at a beautiful 15-year-old girl who's a refugee who knew all about Marilyn, not from movies or music, from a political stance.
I've got goosebumps.
Yeah, and so the whole class, and there was about 40 of them, did Marilyn Little Rock. And they nailed it.
Oh.
And they said, see, Marilyn isn't about being a blonde bimbo. Marilyn is about being a woman and being proud about who you are. They're telling me this. And about being sexy and gorgeous and just owning who you are. And I'm like, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, you've got 2 young daughters.
Yeah.
Are they dancers as well?
Well, both of them are good at dance. My older daughter's not doing it anymore. She's focusing on art. But my younger daughter has a dance
Would you
scholarship.
advise them to go into it?
It was the one area I was hoping they wouldn't. Get a real job. You're going to support your mother when you're older.
Become a lawyer.
And that's the interesting thing. Dancers are so well trained. You train from 4, generally, most people do, and it's so much knowledge you taking in, so many building blocks, and yet it's notoriously poorly paid.
It's so unfortunate, isn't it?
Yes,
it
that's the
marries
arts.
the mind and the body, and it's very, as you said, therapeutic.
Yes.
So
And empowering. It's very empowering. The whole Marilyn Monroe
yeah.
Festival was about empowering women. And I was caught by the quote, one of my favourite quotes of Marilyn is, we are all stars and we deserve to twinkle. And that's what, I love it, because it doesn't matter who a woman is, she's beautiful. And she can be gorgeous and sexy. It doesn't matter how big, how small, how old, what race you are, what religion you are. Whether you have disabilities or not, we are beautiful, and it's owning that. And the thing is, people often can go, wow, you're amazing, and it's not about any sort of stereotypical beauty. It's about smiling and feeling good about you, who you are, and walking that walk and talking that talk. And it's amazing how people are attracted to that. It's got nothing to do with stereotypical beauty.
I'm so happy that you're doing this. This is fantastic, Sharyne. Honestly,
It's good. I love it. It's my happy
we
drug.
need more people.
Yeah.
What advice would you give anyone who wants to become a dancer?
I think that people don't really want to become a dancer. They just are.
There's have to.
It's just a passion that you have, and you're compelled to do it, and you just have to follow that gut feeling inside of you. I'm sometimes a little saddened by the competitive nature of a lot of modern dance schools. They're not all like that, and how it's a Stedford after a Stedford, and really, I don't think it needs to be that competitive. There are some of the most amazing and quite well-known dancers that I know are not competitive in nature, but they're really true to their goals. They follow their goals and they believe in themselves. And
Well,
and they're very
like
giving of themselves too to other people. And so they help other people along on the journey. And that's what I think. I think that's why I still get work, because people respect me. They don't see me as someone who's fighting for the top. I just plod along and I get offered work. So
I can tell you've got that charisma. Absolutely. Now, if we want to be part of your studio, how do we get in contact?
you can, on the website dancelikeadiva.org, or you can email me dancelikeadiva mail.com, but also the Facebook page,
Yeah.
Dance Like a Diva. If you look up Dance Like a Diva, you'll find it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What's your favourite dance? Was that like saying, you know, how
Oh no, I'm modern ballet and contemporary
Right.
are absolutely my favourite. I love burlesque because it's a tool that most women can embrace. You don't need as many skills. That not saying that you don't need training, you do, but you don't need as many skills. So it's easier for people to get a win in it, to feel like they're winning in the dance, that dance genre. But for me, I'm still, I'm in love with ballet, particularly modern ballet and contemporary dance because it tells a story, it speaks. I also love Japanese buto because again, it's another dance form that tells a story and it can take you on this amazing journey when you watch it.
I'm so joining. Thank you so much for talking, Sharyne. It's
You
lovely.
are so welcome. I love it. Thank you, Camilla.
All right, guys. We'll see you again next time.